Happy Women's Day. I trust your day has been amazing. Mine has been so far just chilling, getting some rays, and enjoying time with the family. So today's video is who pays the utility bills? Like I shared in one of my previous videos about rentals, like how do you get to the charge? The bond and the rental amount is independent from each other. Now, I want to pick up on some of those thoughts that I will reiterate. You know, when we buy property from a property investing point of view, we buy property having run numbers. Running the numbers basically means we need to know before we buy the property, can I afford this utility bills and all? And the reason we do that, we want to ensure that whatever we call in for rent covers all of those things and we are still making a profit. So when you get to a point of asking this question, who pays the utility bills? I want to then share with you a couple of things that you may consider from a property investing point of view. You may consider one of the biggest headaches, and I call it a headache because I had this headache and I did away with this headache by buying something or installing something called prepaid electricity. Had I just done that when I had my 2 bed, 1 bath, I promise you I would have resolved 90% of the issues that I had with utility bills, right? Because if you've got prepaid, think about this. If somebody is paying their prepaid bill, they are managing what is happening in the house. When it's open or postpaid, sometimes people don't take notice of what they do, and people that are just will take advantage by nature will may just take advantage of postpaid, especially if you don't highlight in your lease agreement that they are paying for the utility that is electricity. Consider putting prepaid electricity. That already solves for 80% of your utility bills. Don't you think already the questions on utility bills, so many of it just suddenly feels like, I could put a prepaid in. Why didn't I think about it? I ask myself the same question. Why didn't I think about this? Ugly face, ugly crying. Like that's the moment I kind of had, right? The next bit is, say for example, you have a sectional title, meaning you have a flat or a townhouse or a property that is marked as sectional title, and therefore you have levies that come with it. Levies is a big bad gremlin. I promise you that for me was also a pain second to none. However, my levies, I always knew what it was going to be. So when you are running your numbers, right? And you want to go and see from a rental perspective, how much will I be making? You include things like levies. Because when you include your levies and your property management and your property maintenance and a potential void percentage, void means vacancy. So if there's nobody in the property, you've already been putting something away for that rainy day. When you include all of these things and you still come out cash flow positive, baby, you've slam dunked another utility bill. And this is why in property, there's that statement, make money from day one. Yeah, for a while I used to get annoyed with it. But for me, when I was able to give a fair explanation on make money from day one, yes, I'm jumping on that bandwagon of making money from day one. The next utility would be water. Now, depending on where your property is, not all properties are made equal, as I keep saying, right? You would want to understand what is your water bill setup like. Would you not also want to put that on, make sure you put that in your numbers, because you should. There's a lot of things you should put in your numbers before you actually buy that property, and you do your calculations to make sure that you are making money from day one. So just like that levies bill, if you're in a space where you pay for every drop of water or you pay for a percentage of water, or whatever it is that you pay for water, make sure it's in your numbers so that you know what it looks like when you are doing calculations before buying that property. However, if you're like, well, I've already bought the property, chick, you don't help me there. This is what I want to then say is, have a look at what your water bill is, and in the area that you stay in, find out what other landlords are doing to curb any water wastage. Because when you understand what your fellow neighbors are doing, other landlords are doing, you then may understand and get solutions to the solution where you are at this point in time. I know, for example, in Johannesburg CBD, my brother-in-law stayed in a block of flats where they literally had water on prepaid, right? They had for a month 32, I don't know whether it was, I don't know how it was measured, but I know it was on prepaid because he shared that with me. But they had 32, I would call it units. So every day they use a unit for a day. And if they go into that, they're going into the next day's unit. And if they run out of water, then they then go downstairs, top up at the property management company, top up the water that they have, and they continue using water. Another prepaid idea. So you may, when you are running your numbers, say, you know what, for this to work for me right now, I will put water on prepaid, electricity on prepaid, so which then means you may be giving out a little bit more in the beginning. However, it's to resolve for the issue of who pays the utility bills. So I trust that that has helped you think about who would pay for it and how best you could manage that process on who will be paying for it, because you do want to make money from day one, therefore have your tenants pay for many things without them actually knowing that they are paying, because everything is where? In your rent amount. However, like I've shared, when there's things that are prepaid involved, make sure that you share that with your tenants. Make sure that this information is in your lease agreement so that you do not get caught with your pants down. So I would like to say, enjoy the rest of your Women's Day, and I will see you, boom, 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 in the extended holiday tomorrow. So you take good care, be safe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode.